In a far African village lived a maiden named Apunanwu. From the moment she drew her first breath, her beauty was like the gentle glow of the moon on a clear night, captivating all who beheld her radiance. Her eyes sparkled like the stars, and her laughter danced like the playful winds. Yet, in the midst of the whispers of awe and admiration, jealousy brewed in the hearts of some villagers. Envy twisted their tongues, and they spread rumors of curses and witchcraft, seeking to tarnish Apunanwu's image. But Apunanwu remained unshaken, and her spirit remained strong. She embraced her beauty not as a curse, but as a gift from the ancestors, a blessing to be shared with all who beheld her. Every year, when the kingdom held its grand beauty contest, Apunanwu emerged winner without fail. None dared to challenge her, for her beauty was unmatched, leaving the other maidens feeling like fireflies in the shadow of her brilliance. As the years passed, whispers of discontent began to stir among some factions of the village. They could no longer bear to see Apunanwu's beauty shine so brightly, casting their own shadows into obscurity. Envy twisted their hearts, and bitterness clouded their minds. One fateful day, fueled by resentment and fear, these factions marched to the king's palace, their accusations heavy on their tongues. They branded Apunanwu a witch, weaving tales of dark magic and foul deeds. And in their arms, they carried the lifeless body of a young boy, laying him at the feet of the king, accusing Apunanwu of his untimely demise. The king's brow furrowed with concern and anger as he listened to the accusations brought against Apunanwu. Summoning her to his presence, he sought the truth amidst the tangled webs of deceit and jealousy. With a heavy heart but a steadfast resolve, Apunanwu stood before the king, her eyes reflecting the innocence within her soul. With unwavering truth and unyielding courage, she met the king's eyes, her voice steady as she spoke. "My lord," she began, her words carrying the weight of truth, "I swear by the spirits of our ancestors and the purity of my heart that I am innocent of these accusations. I am no witch, nor am I a murderer. I would never bring harm to another soul, especially not in our beloved kingdom." The king's gaze softened as he listened to Apunanwu's earnest plea. He saw the sincerity in her eyes, the unwavering conviction in her voice. Yet, his duty as ruler demanded clarity and justice. For the last time, Apunanwu, the king spoke with solemnity. "I ask you, are you guilty of this accusation or not? Speak the truth, for it shall be the scales upon which your fate shall be weighed." With a steady breath and a heart filled with righteousness, Apunanwu faced the king once more, her voice ringing clear and true. "Your Majesty," she declared, her words echoing through the halls of the palace, "I am innocent. I swear it upon my life and the honor of my ancestors. Let the truth be my shield and my innocence be my sword." Apunanwu's heart sank as the king's words hung heavy in the air. Despite her pleas of innocence, she could feel the weight of the accusations pressing down upon her like a stone upon her chest. With tears glistening in her eyes, she looked to the king, her voice trembling yet resolute. "My lord," she pleaded, her words a desperate plea for understanding, "I swear by the gods above and the spirits of our ancestors that I am innocent. The only crime I have committed is to bear the beauty with which the gods have blessed me." With each word, Apunanwu's voice echoed with emotion, her heart laid bare before the king and all who bore witness. She spoke not of defiance, but of the anguish that had gnawed at her soul since childhood, the burden of envy and hatred that had shadowed her every step. But the king's countenance remained mean, his gaze unwavering as he surveyed the evidence before him. Though his heart may have harbored doubts, his duty as ruler demanded justice, unyielding and impartial. "I'm afraid," the king spoke with a heavy heart, his voice filled with sorrow, "that the evidence before me is strong and compelling, and so justice shall take its full course." With a heavy heart and a solemn nod, the king decreed that Apunanwu be subjected to the trials of justice, her fate to be decided by the ancient laws of the kingdom. As the tension thickened in the air, the people gathered around the palace courtyard, their eyes fixed on the king's balcony, awaiting his decree with bated breath. Apunanwu stood at the center of the courtyard, her tears mingling with the dust at her feet, her heavy heart with despair. With a heavy sigh, the king raised his hand, signaling the final judgment. The crowd fell silent, their anticipation tangible as they awaited the words that would seal Apunanwu's fate. "By the ancient laws of our land," the king proclaimed, his voice carrying the weight of centuries of tradition, "a murder case demands justice, and justice demands death." The words hung in the air like a dark cloud over the gathered crowd. Apunanwu's cries pierced the silence, her pleas for mercy echoing off the stone walls of the courtyard, but the king's decree remained firm. As the king's guards stepped forward to carry out the sentence, a wave of jubilation swept through the crowd, their cries of triumph drowning out Apunanwu's desperate pleas. With a heavy heart, the guards seized Apunanwu and dragged her towards the execution platform, her struggles futile against the iron grip of fate. As the relentless chants of condemnation echoed through the courtyard, Apunanwu's heart felt heavy with despair. Yet, amidst the sea of hostility, she summoned the last shreds of her courage and dignity. With tears streaming down her cheeks and her voice trembling with emotion, Apunanwu spoke her final words, her voice ringing out with a haunting clarity that silenced the crowd. "People of the kingdom," she began, her words carrying the weight of a lifetime of injustice and persecution. "I stand before you not as a witch nor as a murderer, but as a daughter of this land, falsely accused and unjustly condemned." Her voice rose above the agitated cries of the crowd, cutting through the uproar of hatred and ignorance like a beacon of truth amidst the darkness. "I plead with you," she continued, her words a desperate plea for compassion and understanding, "to open your hearts and minds to the truth that lies beneath the veil of fear and suspicion. Do not let my innocence be sacrificed upon the altar of ignorance and prejudice." As her final plea hung in the air, a solemn hush fell over the crowd, their eyes fixed upon Apunanwu with a mixture of awe and uncertainty. With tears streaming down her cheeks, Apunanwu raised her voice in a haunting melody, her song a lamentation of the injustice that had befallen her, a dirge for the innocence lost to the cruel whims of fate. As her voice soared through the courtyard, weaving a tapestry of sorrow and despair, the gathered crowd listened in hushed reverence. their hearts heavy with the weight of her words. "It hurts," she sang, her voice trembling with emotion, "when your own people are the cause of your affliction. It hurts when no one believes your story, when your cries fall upon deaf ears and your truth is drowned out by the chorus of lies." Her song echoed the anguish of a soul unjustly condemned, the pain of a heart torn asunder by betrayal and deceit. "It hurts," she continued, her voice rising with defiance, "but be rest assured that Apunanwu will return again. Into your hands I commit my spirit, O gods of our land." With those final words, Apunanwu's song faded into the night, her voice a haunting echo of the injustice that had befallen her. And as the executioner's blade fell, severing the fragile thread of her mortal existence, a solemn silence descended upon the courtyard, a testament to the enduring power of courage, resilience, and the unwavering pursuit of truth. As the executioner's blade fell with a swift and final stroke, severing the tether that bound Apunanwu to this mortal realm, a deafening silence descended upon the courtyard. But as her lifeless body crumpled to the ground, a sudden and inexplicable darkness engulfed the land, shrouding it in an airy veil of uncertainty and fear. The jubilant cries of the crowd turned to startled gasps, their voices choked with disbelief as they gazed upon the ominous darkness that had descended upon their once vibrant kingdom. Panic spread like wildfire through the streets as the people recoiled in terror, their hearts heavy with the weight of guilt and remorse. In the midst of the chaos, whispers of doubt and suspicion began to spread like tendrils of ivy creeping through the cracks in a crumbling wall. Could it be possible, they wondered, that Apunanwu was innocent after all? Had they condemned an innocent soul to a fate far worse than death? With each passing moment, the darkness seemed to deepen, casting long shadows that danced like phantoms in the night. The people, gripped by fear and uncertainty, fled from the darkness that threatened to consume them, their hearts heavy with the burden of their own guilt and complicity. This story is to be continued. Watch out for the part 2 of this story. And if you enjoyed this story, kindly like, share this video, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, not forgetting to turn on the bell notification for future stories. Thanks for watching.